Oh.
Do you want, shall I do that?
Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah.
I know who you are, but just before, first and last name and position as well.
Dallas Coop, DIALLOSEKOU.
And as well.
James Evans Muhammad, Black Educators for Justice.
And your fourth focus.
Chairman of the Connecticut Empire.
We had an amazing panel discussion with, I think over 50 people just really vocal in this community. The beginning of this conversation started out with, this is the birth of a movement. And you guys certainly rattled some feathers in there today. What do you think in general of how this panel discussion went today?
I think it's good when people turn out and just discuss what their feelings are, but we stay on task and the talking points that we want to reiterate to the community. So it's always positive. Anytime anybody comes up.
One of the biggest things discussed also was the epicenter of where these crimes begin, the economy, the poverty of our people. Just talking about the connection that those two have on the Black community.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you're looking at something that's institutionalized when you come out of the Jim Crow era. Then it goes into the Civil Rights era, and then those civil rights, which are basically part and parcel of the Jim Crow, you're looking at institutionalized judicial system, economics. These are things that generally the Black community does not own. So they're basically victims and part of the economics, the political thing. And so now we're still at the point of gathering the troops within ourselves versus looking for the handout for those of the same oppressors. In a sense.
We also talked about policing police. Okay, we had three focal issues or three focal points involving FDLE, also being an outside investigator, body cameras, and also a citizens advisory board. Are those points still the main thing that you feel viewers need to hear about? I just want to make sure, as a news reporter, I have a minute and a half to get out the message.
The main number one thing is for the immediate arrest of Officer Langeville for the murder of Vernelle Bing Jr. The second thing is body cameras on the officers and the cars. The third is we're going to go no on the referendum. We're asking the community to make sure they get back on no on the referendum that this mayor is asking for. Why? The reason why is this: not only are we dealing with the systemic thing of murdering unarmed Black men, but we're also looking at parts of town that this is happening in that is also underfunded. And so this is the reason we shut 95 and the bridge down. Not just for the murder of unarmed Black men, but for the economic sanctions they've basically been holding on the north and east side of Jacksonville.
One of my last questions. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say with that, understand that there's been a history in Jacksonville, as we know, of police brutality. And so we put that out very important to understand. It's not just police brutality in the physical sense, it's also mental, economic, and social. And so that in itself has created a problem here in this community as well as others, particularly here in the South.
One of the other problems that I heard was that pastors aren't as prevalent on the streets as they should be, and that was kind of talked about for about 30 minutes, and it seemed like that was a really passionate issue.
I'm going to make a point that no one really made, and I'm not reluctant to make it. Many of the pastors, many of the churches are tied up into the mayor's office and the city council of faith-based initiatives, faith-based money. And so they're not going to jeopardize losing their funding and their money by coming out and standing up for the people on issues that are controversial, that call the mayor, the sheriff, and the district attorney to the table. They're not going to stand up to those. They're not going to lose their faith-based money.
So even that press conference that the mayor and the sheriff did, it created a divide in the community. Whether they hear about it or not, the people are angry because some of those people are basically didn't know what the mayor was going to say about it. It was just a chess move on his end, but it was a bad move.
We're now finished with this town hall meeting. It seemed like the troops are rallying. Last question for you. It seems like the momentum is high, but you also mentioned having multiple meetings, keeping this energy still going. Do you feel like you're seriously going to now have a movement on your hands? Are people doing enough?
Well, I was going to say this. I can make this very short. First of all, when you have people who live in poor communities, go to poor schools. They get poor schools, get a poor education. Get a poor education, only work on poor paying jobs. What we're talking about movement is we're talking about changing what the current conditions are, which is why the Connecticut Empire has been so important, because Dallas already laid out that there's the geophonics, there's the farming, there's the initiatives, there's the summer programs, there's the Sankofa initiatives. What we have to do is begin to let people know that this is happening and that there's hope. They have to have hope. And so yes, we're fired up, we're inspired, and we're going to move forward.
Excellent. Anything else that I didn't ask you? You know, you have the floor. Anything else?
Please, this Saturday at Knife and Liberty at noon, we'll be rallying for red. That's what we call it, rally for red.
Little red.
Yeah, Little Red. And then 8:30 we'll be showing Hidden Colors 4. It's a documentary.
Wonderful. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. As always. Oh, thank you.
My son, they fresh. Watch me.
Yeah, they are. They're like older.